Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hope you're enjoying the content. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying it and share with your friends. Today we'll do a deep dive into the scorecard I've come up with so you can see generally how FSD 10.11.2 is doing right now. And we'll show a few clips of the different sections of this. And we'll probably add to this in future videos and of course compare it with the new version when that comes out hopefully next week. This is the way the scorecard looks when I drive in the car. The main takeaway from this is the demerits per kilometer on the right hand side shown in red. We're trying to get to that to 0. And the kilometers per disengagement, we're trying to get that as high as possible. Now on to the clips. In each of these you'll see the item we're looking at in the center of the screen and the score that it has. So in this one it's supposed to go straight through and it randomly turns to the right, so that's a navigation type error. Same thing happens here when the car is supposed to turn left and it randomly turns right, and I had to catch it very quickly there. Here's another example of a error not following the route. It's trying to get into that left turn lane when there's actually no lane. And one last one here, it randomly dodges into the left turn lane there, and I had to very quickly catch it. Next we have some pedestrian interactions. Here a fairly busy crosswalk, just showing it yields to the pedestrians properly and doesn't move until all pedestrians are out of the way. Next one we have a pedestrian approaching a crosswalk from the right. Even before the person gets there, the car slows down and stops very smoothly and naturally. Now we have some cyclists and bike lanes. So these are some strange bike lanes in downtown Victoria. You can see the car mostly shows them up on the screen, and I think it would yield to a cyclist in them because seeing the cyclist as they're going by, it didn't happen to have one as we were turning right. This example, it's giving lots of room to some cyclists on a very narrow road. And here we have a very strange bike lane downtown Victoria where the traffic is actually heading towards each other and the cars are supposed to duck to the left and right when there's bikes coming. Didn't quite get into the right lane there. One more example of giving lots of room, crossing the center line even to make room for the bike. Small and narrow roads, it stays too much in the center and I had to take over so I don't scare the oncoming vehicle. And it almost hit the rock here. I had to very quickly dodge around that one. Here for stop signs, it blew through that stop sign. First time that ever happened, so it does have a pretty high score. One example of a failure to four-way stop is when it had this flashing red light. It thought it was a red traffic signal and didn't want to go through. Roundabouts, it does fairly well if it's a small roundabout like this. If it's anything more complicated, like the ones we have coming up, it does fail quite a bit. On this first one, it decided to stop right in the middle of the roundabout. I'm not really sure what happened there, but I had to push it forward. The next one, let's see how it does here. It did yield to the car on the right, or at least it saw it, marked it up in blue, so fairly straightforward, so it made it through this one okay. The last set is a fairly complicated set of two roundabouts in series, so he did something strange here. It merged to the right and then it merged back to the left. It doesn't really matter which lane we're in, but it shouldn't be jumping back and forth. So it did make it through there, but of course there's also no traffic in it. Here comes the second one across the other side of the highway. And again, there's no traffic, so it does make it through in a reasonable fashion. For turns across traffic, it typically fails, but in this case it actually successfully crossed a 3-lane road. So that was fairly surprising. I'll have to try to find some of my other clips where it failed quite miserably with left turns across traffic, right turns into traffic, and then so on. So the score here I've given it is fairly low. Next is navigating small roads with obstructions. This moving truck here, I've also seen excavators and so on. It does quite well at, so I've given it a fairly high score. Next one here is coming across obstructions. This one, it was trying to turn left. It had a right turn only and obstruction in the middle and had to turn right and navigate around it. So that's all the clips I've collected today, but I'll definitely be collecting more as we go and comparing them with the new versions. We've gone through a lot of these. A few that we haven't touched on is the school zones, which it doesn't handle currently. The acceleration control and cornering control, basically it's jerky sometimes around corners and it accelerates in random ways. Sometimes it's basically spinning the tires and sometimes it's going too slow. Speed bumps it handles in a kind of a random fashion. Sometimes it handles them okay, sometimes it doesn't pick them up and goes over them way too fast. And near the bottom we have some things that I'm hoping it'll include in the future: parking lots, better handling of rain, backing up in tight roads, detecting hand signals from other drivers, which it is supposed to according to Tesla. And then the last one is just dealing with high occupancy vehicle lanes. It kept trying to merge out of them when I was in Vancouver. So we'll see how that goes in the future. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content, and send me any feedback in terms of the types of material you'd like to see more of or less of. Hope you enjoyed the video. Have a good day.